this is where all the after-church fellowship coffee.
Over here.
Oh, over there, okay.
And
Well, I think with one very important exception, and that is lots of people just hang around out in the pews.
Yeah.
When church is over for half an hour, because I've been coming here 6 years, and I only found out a year ago that people stay that way. Because we would come back, fight with the crowd, and then leave. And then we discovered all kinds of people just hang around here for 20, 30 minutes, all through the whole sanctuary, not just back here.
Oh. Well, what I'm thinking is it possible to have two stations that would just help facilitate? You know, if this is, and we know that trying to move people to a new location just is really awful. But it again speaks to if you have a patio experience out front in the nice weather, you can take your things and go out there, and that becomes extended, or even there if it's more enjoyable weather-wise. You're not restricted here. So I love that idea that people linger in here. But if it's about a bottleneck, I would say have two stations, just like communion. You have many stations sometimes, and that takes priority, and that those things maybe get handled in a different manner.
And we've also thought of taking a row of pews, one or two rows.
Yep, to give you more space back here. Yep, always that option of if it's not needed. And you know, one of the things we know is that we will always sit toward the back, because we like to, if we're new, we like to be able to see what's happening so that we're not foolish. And even when we know what's going on, there's something about sitting in the back of anything that helps us feel more secure. But if suddenly the back is here or here, it doesn't make any difference, you know, it really, really doesn't. If you can spare some pews, and this opportunity is really important, which usually the fellowship time is, and you don't have enough space, by all means, I would take some pews out and I would simplify this space so that you don't have so much happening here so that people really can mill. Because if you have things in the way, they can't accommodate people.
I think that one challenge to that is it would really be helpful if we could, to this space, is if people could be seated. There are some people who really need to be seated that cannot hold even a small plate of cookies and a drink. They just don't have the physical capability to do it. Or a parent trying to do the same thing with a child. This really hampers us from being able to sit down and no conversation. If those are only one table, then those people just get stuck at that table.
Yeah. Well, and that's, the problem sort of with pews. If there were chairs, you could reroute some of this. And maybe that's, the opportunity is put some rows of chairs back here and have some tables that can be put up quickly for that experience back here.
This is not a statement of dissing having a conversation back here, but there's two sides that I just wanted to ask your opinion about. Is should we make this more usable after church space, or should we make the chapel and try to retrain people to have the chapel be the fellowship space after church? So that's, we don't know that.
Anytime you try and move people, it's a problem from where they are. This is, I love the idea of the chapel being a gathering space, but that doesn't mean it has to be the fellowship space for after worship. I see those as two different things. In some places, they can accommodate together, but if fellowship and that opportunity is important and it's working here, sort of, then I think that's viable. But you could also just kind of test it out, try fellowship somewhere else and see if people move. And if it, what usually happens is you lose your visitors. The people who are faithful, who know the score, how it's going to come down, they're going to hang in there and follow you to some minute place because they know the way. But a new person, if they have to figure out how to get from somewhere, they're just going to go out the door.